right here on your local TV station.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Halloween episode, scene 3, take 1. Oh, this is a live show, isn't it? We don't use slates. Happy Halloween, everybody. 31st day of October, 2023. I am Dan Kuntz. Happy Halloween to you. Don't come to my house trick-or-treating, you ghosts and goblins. I'll be watching Game 4 of the World Series tonight. I think I'm the only person who's watching the World Series, but I love the World Series. Happy Halloween to you. It is 28 degrees outside. Going to be another day of sunny and cold temperatures. We've had 7 consecutive days now of our afternoon high temperature being below normal. We're going to do it again today. Gradual warming trend, a lot of rain coming our way Wednesday night into Thursday, and then more rain over the weekend, specifically on Saturday. We need the rain. We're talking about quite a bit of rain. Lots of clouds. Finally, temperatures are getting back up to where they should be this time of the year. We'll have your complete forecast details are coming up. Of course, if you're going to be out and about trick-or-treating, we'll have that trick-or-treat specific forecast about the hours late afternoon into the early evening. And we'll also talk about some of the Halloween activities going on today around the Wenatchee Valley. We'll do that towards the end of the program. We will have news that Dalton Scott Potter convicted of first-degree murder in the shooting death of his girlfriend. The shooting, of course, happened last January. He was convicted in Waterville yesterday afternoon. That'll be our top story. In sports, Seahawks keep acquiring new players because players are getting hurt. And the trade deadline is today. There's going to be a lot of roster moves, a lot of fluidity in that world. Plus, we'll talk about Game 3 of the World Series last night, and the prep postseason is pretty much ready to go. And in the back half of the program, tomorrow is Day of the Dead, the celebration of Day of the Dead anyway. It's like a 3-day little window, the Day of the Dead celebrations, and they're going to do it again at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Rosa Pulido will be talking to me. She is the executive director of the Wenatchee Downtown Association, but she's also coordinating Day of the Dead tomorrow at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. She'll join me in the back half of the program. All right, here we go. Cameras around the valley. The Wenatchee Heights camera begins our festivities. It always does. There's usually enough light from the city, and we do have enough light now from the Wenatchee Valley to make that pretty much a color shot 24 hours a day. As you know by now, these cameras are designed to go to black and white when it gets too dark to actually see what's going on. The idea is to let as much light into the lens as possible so you can at least see something. But that is the exception to the rule, the Wenatchee Heights camera, because there is enough ambient light to make that camera be color pretty much all day and all night long. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. Rude Canyon, sit on up to Waterville. Say hello to those folks. Waterville's out there somewhere, and the folks in Rude Canyon are not rude. They're very pleasant, as a matter of fact. Looks like they might have a few high clouds out there, and we will see a few high clouds, but we're still under the influence of that cold and dry air mass through the rest of the day today, and then the clouds will be thickening up, and we'll see warming temperatures and a lot of rain coming up on Wednesday night, which we need badly. The Omi Garden camera looks really good. It looks something, well, like that. You can see the sun starting to get the job done in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. We're down to just 10 hours and 2 minutes of daylight today. Tomorrow we'll be at exactly 10 hours of daylight. Then we'll dip below 10 hours on Thursday. In fact, sunrise this morning, 7:43. Sunset tonight, 5:45. And finally, to Jump Off Ridge, there is a great view. And you can see the high clouds hanging around. They're kind of drifting right about where the high pressure ridge, which is now shifted to the east. It's heading towards Idaho and Montana. The high pressure ridge that was dominating our weather for about the last 6-7 days was actually over the Pacific Ocean. It has now moved inland, and it continues to move inland, and that's going to allow the warmer, wetter air to start paying us a visit, especially tomorrow night. Good morning from our friends at Jump Off Ridge. You're sending your kids out to trick or treat? Again, don't come to my house. I'm watching the World Series. Porch light will be off, folks. All right. At 6 o'clock tonight, when most kids are going to be out and about 44 degrees here in the valley. By 7 o'clock, about 42. By 8 o'clock here in Wenatchee, we'll be down to about 40 degrees. And I think most kids are probably done by 8:30 anyway. Of course, it's also not a school night in Wenatchee. Wenatchee School District has parent-teacher conferences this week, so maybe they are staying up a little later. And how old is too old to trick-or-treat? I'm 59. Is that too old to trick-or-treat? Probably. And the rain. We're going to shift to some warmer temperatures and a good dose of the wet stuff. And boy, do we need it. That's not a typo. For Omak, Wenatchee, Moses Lake, the area here around central Washington, through the weekend, I think we're going to have about an inch of rain. I think that quarter of an inch of rain, a half an inch of rain event, which is going to be Wednesday night and Thursday, is going to get us a good start because we're going to have hit and miss showers really right through the weekend. Everybody needs the rain, and it's also not a bad idea if you got a bunch of leaves around your storm drain. They're supposed to drain. That's what it's designed to do, so you might want to clean that out. But as far as the rain is concerned, definitely Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We dried a little bit Thursday night. Friday looks dry, and then the rain returns Friday night, all day Saturday, into Saturday night, and into Sunday. From the National Weather Service, here we go. One more day of partly sunny skies. We'll see the clouds, high clouds, begin to increase as the day progresses. We'll get to 45, which is pretty much what we got to yesterday. But the overnight low is going to be considerably warmer. We'll be above the freezing mark, in fact, about normal for this time of year. Our normal overnight low is 35. We've seen some really cold overnight lows. We're going to be above that because we'll have the cloud cover to keep the blanket on. Wednesday, we'll have some clouds in the morning, some sunshine in the afternoon as the last of the high-pressure ridge moves in. And then here comes a pretty active storm system bringing with us lots of rain. Wednesday night, it's going to rain all night. Wednesday night, we could see a quarter of an inch of rain. By the time we wake up Thursday, it's going to rain most of the morning Thursday. It should taper off about noon. An additional quarter of an inch possible on Thursday afternoon. We dry out Thursday night and Friday. In fact, we'll have some sunshine Friday, and we're going to go from below normal to above normal by the time we get to Friday. And then another band of rain comes through. Friday night into Saturday, it's going to rain most of the day Saturday. Going to rain into Saturday night. Possible rain on Sunday and Sunday night and Monday. Get ready for the wet stuff, and we need it. We are still in a drought. We're still behind where we should be for our yearly rainfall totals. That is the weather at 7 minutes after the hour. After a quick break, we'll have the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, this is Frank Kuntz, Mayor of the City of Wenatchee. Mike Poyer will make a great mayor. Mike is consistent, he's thoughtful, he shows up, he's prepared, and he always gets to the right answer. Mike just loves this town. He was born and raised here. He has a passion for making this place better, as we all do. And it's been a pleasure working with him on Wenatchee City Council for the past 4 years, and I just look forward to having him lead our city going forward. So join me in voting for Mike Poyer, Mayor.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Well, looks like our surgery patient is feeling better today.
Yep, I didn't need any oxy today. I thought I'd do a little surgery on the drain.
Huh. Do you need your pain pills anymore?
No.
Well, we should get them out of the house. There are places to drop them off.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I can do that right now.
And I will look at the drain.
Prevent opioid misuse. Find safe medication return options near you at med-project.org.
Crystal's Intimate Lounge in downtown Leavenworth is a wonderful place to enjoy mouth-watering appetizers and drinks while socializing, watching sports, playing bingo, pull tabs, or simply relaxing while enjoying the breathtaking mountain views. Crystal's family-friendly restaurant has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Crystal's restaurant, lounge, and event space is located 2 blocks west of downtown Leavenworth on Highway 2.
High clouds and 27 degrees, mid-40s today with the afternoon high. Again, high clouds will be prevalent for the next day and a half or so. Then starting tomorrow night, Wednesday night, we'll have rain, quite a bit of rain Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and more rain coming over the weekend as we welcome November. It's 10 minutes after the hour. A Douglas County Superior Court jury convicted Dalton Scott Potter of first-degree murder yesterday afternoon after hearing closing arguments from Douglas County Prosecutor Gordon Edgar and Public Defender Jesse Collins earlier yesterday. Potter was found guilty of first-degree murder with a deadly weapon, 3 counts of first-degree assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts of intimidating a witness with a deadly weapon, and unlawful possession of a firearm. The 28-year-old Potter shot and killed his former girlfriend, 38-year-old Alyssa Ann Longwell, as she lay alongside Badger Mountain Road last January. After that, he opened fire on witnesses in a nearby truck. The jury did acquit Potter of 1 charge of first-degree robbery. Potter faces a term of up to life in prison when he is sentenced in early December. In the city of Omak, 2 men were arrested early Sunday morning after an alleged gunfire incident in downtown Omak. Police Chief Daniel Christensen says shots broke out at about 12:35 in the morning in the 100 block of Main Street. Witnesses phoned in a description of a male suspect firing a weapon, as well as a vehicle description and a partial license plate. Omak police took 2 men into custody after a high-risk vehicle stop, booked into the jail for unlawful possession of a firearm, 40-year-old Ivan Sanchez and 39-year-old Jason Glandon. Both men have prior felony convictions. Christensen says the gunshots arose from a prior altercation. Glandon faces a possible additional felony charge of discharging a firearm. A prank message to the new text to 911 system that was just installed at Rivercom disrupted life in Leavenworth. A bomb placed or was threatened to be placed in a downtown Leavenworth restaurant. So yeah, deputies had to clear the business and search fruitlessly, as it turns out, for not only the suspect but the explosive device. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says the message came to the Rivercom Dispatch Center via text at 1:19 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, warning of a pipe bomb in a backpack placed in the bathroom at the Rhine House restaurant. That's in the 700 block of Highway 2. No bomb was found. The text was traced to an IP address in West Virginia. It's the 4th bomb threat to force an evacuation in Leavenworth downtown since December of 2020. No explosive devices or suspects have been located in any of those cases. Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake has to face a negligent lawsuit brought by a stroke patient. Last week, the Washington Court of Appeals reinstated the lawsuit that was filed by Charles Donegan. Back in 2016, Donegan had a stroke which went unrecognized by 2 nurses and a physician's assistant when they assessed him at Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake. The lawsuit says Donegan suffered additional complications because his stroke was not properly diagnosed and treated for another 2 days. A Grant County trial court disregarded testimony from expert witnesses and dismissed the case. Well, the appellate ruling sends the lawsuit back to Grant County Superior Court, saying it deserves to be heard by a jury. Zachary Beasley is a young East Wenatchee man with special needs, and boy, he became one really happy kid. He received a surprise special gift after a short conversation with a total stranger. Zachary's mom, Stephanie Gates, tells the story of the kindness of strangers.
My name is Stephanie Gates, and I am Zachary's mom. Zachary was born in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I became aware of this. He was born to my aunt, and I was living in Seattle, and he was flown to Seattle due to some medical issues. And so I started going and visiting him at the hospital, and I knew that my aunt was going to be giving him up for adoption, and I was working with a family that was going to adopt him. And as time got closer to when he was going to be released from the hospital, of course I fell in love with him, and then really decided, after a lot of thought and prayer, to go ahead and adopt him myself. Zachary began to love tractors when he was quite young because he had asthma at the time, and so he would sit and watch Bob the Builder or other equipment videos, and that would keep his nebulizer on, and that began probably when he was around a year old. Early this last spring, we were at some friend's house for a little get-together, and a gentleman came and began to talk with Zachary about John Deere and about tractors and interacting with him. And a few weeks later, I got a message saying that he wanted to build Zachary a tractor. And I was like, okay, sure, sounds good. But the whole idea of it and what it actually looks like was definitely a surprise to me and, of course, to Zachary. Actually brought tears to my eyes to see him so happy and so excited over something, and I think he couldn't even believe it. At first, I don't believe that he even wanted to get on it. He was just like so excited he could just hardly believe that this was in his yard and it was for him specifically. Zachary comes outside, or wants to come outside, at all times of day and night. He will play on it from an hour to 3-4 hours, just sitting on it and walking around it, pretending to put gas in it with a little toy gas can that he has. And he's also wanting his siblings to come down, and they'll come down and interact with him about the tractor. But I think if we let him, he would be on this all day, all night long. Well, the joy that Zachary has received over this kindness of a total stranger to us has been very touching. To think that someone who met Zachary for around an hour would spend so much time and love and energy and finances into creating something like this, it's almost unbelievable to think that somebody in this day and age would do something so kind. And it brings a lot of joy because Zachary obviously has a lot of special needs, and so special things mean even more.
And that is the news on this Halloween morning, and we will have a spooky newscast. That's just the news. With Grant and Eric and the whole crew gathering the news and disseminating the news. And we'll bring it to you on television at 5, 6, and 10. 5, 6, and 10, the NCW Life Evening News. If that doesn't work into you, we'll have it up and running on the World Wide Web, which I'm on record as saying this is going to be big. This whole internet thing, keep an eye on it. It'll be in our Facebook page, our homepage, ncwlife.com, and on our YouTube page right around 5 o'clock. And if there's something out there like that story that we just gave you that you think might warrant us looking into it, get a hold of us. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. When we come back, we'll talk about Game 4 of the World Series, Kraken win. Seahawks continue to make some significant roster moves. In high school sports, the postseason is now underway for pretty much everybody. Sports is 2 minutes away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Check out ClubCrowCashmere.com for upcoming events and tickets.
Boy, that's a good look at the sunrise. It's 20 minutes after the hour. Corey Seager homered. The Rangers now have a 2-1 lead in the 119th edition of the World Series. Beat the Diamondbacks last night 3-1. Marcus Semien began the scoring for the Rangers in the top of the third. He had an RBI base hit. That scored Nathaniel Lowe. Seager followed that with a 2-run blast to right field for his 5th home run of the playoffs. Max Scherzer worked 3 innings, and he gave way to John Gray, who pitched the next 3 innings to keep the Diamondbacks scoreless. Arizona finally scratched its only run across in the 8th on Geraldo Permoto's RBI base hit. Game 4 tonight in Phoenix, 5:03 on Fox. I shall be watching. Seahawks have pushed all their chips into the middle of the table in the last couple of days, and by golly, they did it again on Monday. Bringing in big help on the defensive line. They traded a 2nd round and 5th round draft pick to the Giants, and in return, that guy, Leonard Williams, a defensive tackle, is now a Seahawk. Coach Pete Carroll says he's been a factor every time they played him, and now he gets to play for his team.
That it's not finalized yet until he arrives, coming in probably by midday tomorrow, something like that. But it's what's reported is accurate, out there.
What do you like about him?
Oh man, everything. We watched him for a long time, I've known of him for a good while, Trojan and all that, and he's a fantastic football player, and he's the kind of guy that can, make a difference in games. He's really a nice player.
How does his skill set complement what you already have on the line?
Yeah, I think he's a little different. His style is different, and he's a classic 3 technique. He's been doing that for a long part of his career, and he's really good at it. And he's an all-around player. He's versatile, run and pass, rush the passer, and cause issues and problems for your opponent. He's a terrific kid. He's a leader and a competitor, and just the kind of guy that you're fortunate to have on your team.
So Williams joins the Seahawks just 5 days after the Seahawks signed free agent Frank Clark. By the way, the trade deadline is today at 1 o'clock. Why they have a trade deadline, I don't know. Seahawks, of course, improved to 5-2 with Sunday's 24-20 win over the Browns. Coach Carroll was very complimentary of the 3 offensive tackles who rotated in and out during the course of the game.
Talk about what a terrific job that Charles did, giving Miles all the credit. He's a fantastic football player, but Charles really did well in battling with him. He wound up flipping the other side, and when our guys had shots on the other side, they did well too. You saw Jason was in the last drive, and he had Miles on his side the whole time, and we made it through the drive, and he didn't wreck the drive, which he can do. And so I was really praised the 3 tackles for doing a fine job in general against a really good edge group. And I thought that was really an exciting part of this game.
Seahawks do have penalty problems. They're ranked near the bottom of the league in penalties. They had more on Sunday. They had 7 penalties for 43 yards. Coach Pete Carroll says we got to fix that.
Yeah, we continue to to find our way to 6, 7, 8 penalties a game, you know, and we got to get out of it. We got to catch up. And the most crucial ones, when, as you were saying, taken, I think you meant we were getting called. Yeah, the crucial situations are the third downs. You know, you saw the big 4th down one call. It was a huge penalty. It's a huge penalty, and because we're off the field and all that. Those are the kinds of things we have to avoid. You know, we just had some crucial ones in tough situations, and when you extend the drive, it's almost like it's a turnover for them. You know, and certainly we are in control of how we place our hands, so we have to do a better job of it. I'm just trying to get out of the cellar on this thing. I'm not trying to be the best in the league right now. I just like to kind of creep out of the cellar, you know. I think we're like 28th or something right now, and so we're shooting for, you know, get out of the 20s right now.
Seahawks travel to Baltimore to take it on the Ravens Sunday morning, 10 a.m. on the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Seattle Kraken wrapped up a 4-game road trip with a 4-3 overtime win over Tampa Bay last night. Seattle jumping out to a quick 2-0 lead in the first period. The Lightning clawed their way back into it. Jared McCann would find the back of the net in overtime.
Sends it back in deep for Eberle. Eberle up there with Winberg. Back to the point it goes. Done it, peeled off of the chains. There's a shot. And the rebound picked up and blasted in there. Rebound. They score. And it's Brian Dumoulin who finds the back of the net. There's the goal scorer, Dumoulin. Now down the wing comes Yamamoto on his backhand. And that one is punched down by Johansson. Back in the middle for Gord. His shot scores. Yanni Gord back in Tampa makes it 2-0. Kraken. Cirelli puts it back to the line. This is Radish. Radish works it across to Fleury. Fleury in front trying to find a tip. Scores! Tapped into the side of the net by Tanner Jeannot. Yamamoto carries it in and Seattle sets things up. Here's Dunn. Dunn shot and then it's tipped wide of the Lightning net. Beniers back to the point for Vince Dunn. Down the cross. One-timer. Stop. Rebound. Scores. And it is Yamamoto with a power play goal. And Seattle has found some offense here in this first period tonight in Tampa Bay. 1 minute remaining in this Lightning power play. Second unit on. There's Cirelli with a shot. Loose. Puck there for Jeannot. Rebound. They score! Alex Barre-Boulet pounds it home, and it's 3-2. Up ahead to Barre-Boulet. Cuts back. Hangs on. Puts it into the corner for Cirelli. Pass got through him, but it's picked up now by Hagel. Back in front. They score! Brandon Hagel puts it towards the net, and it gets in somehow. And both teams are going to take 1 point from this one, and we're going to go to 3-on-3 overtime. Takes his time, he watched by Chernak. Here's Bjorkstrand near side McCann. He's at a sharp angle, walks it out. All the way up top to Bjorkstrand across the Dunn. McCann shoots and scores. Buries it, and Seattle wins it.
After the game, Jared McCann and Yanni Gord were pretty darn happy. Kraken coach Dave Hackstol, not so much.
Yeah, it makes a 6-hour plane ride a lot easier for sure. You know, we thought we played awesome on this road trip, but you know, it's over with now. We got to focus on the next game.
They came out in the second and they were ready to play. You know, that group is very talented, and you know, they pushed back. But in the third, I thought we played pretty solid, and we got fortunate enough to get a power play on the 4-on-3. Get that. Tanner saying sorry, but what a play by him, and yeah, great game on the power play there.
We were able to turn pucks over and stay on pucks in the offensive zone. We had really good energy throughout all 4 lines, and you know, this is a tough team to get to. You know, if you give them any time and space, they move the puck so well. They're in their spots. They move it up ice. Their 200-foot game is tremendous. You know, especially in that first period, we were able to jump on them a little bit, create some of those turnovers with some pace. And some good forechecks, and that, you know, that allowed us to have some success offense.
Kraken return home. They'll host Nashville Thursday night. That'll be at 7 o'clock on Root Sports Northwest. The regular season wrapped up for one team. The playoffs continuing for the others in prep volleyball. On Monday, Ellensburg sweeping Ephrata in the first match of the CWAC season. 3-0. The final match, I should say. The Bulldogs earning the league title. with the victory. Waterville Mansfield and Antioch advancing to the District 6 1B championship last night in volleyball with semifinal wins. The Shockers swept Wilson Creek. The Tigers took 3 from Silver Lake. The tournament shifts to Wenatchee High School later this week. The District 6 2B tournament reaches its final round in Omak tonight. Liberty Bell will take on Tenasket at 4:30. That's a loser-out game. That'll be followed by Brewster and Lake Roosevelt for 3rd and 4th at 6. And then Okanagan will play Manson for the district title at 7:30. Before the Big Nine gets their District 6 4A tournament underway, there are play-in games tonight. Eastmont plays at Moses Lake at 6 in volleyball. Davis will host Eisenhower. The winners will advance to the district tournament, which will be Saturday at Wenatchee High School. 5 postseason soccer matches across the region today. Okanagan is at Tenasket for the District 6 1B 2B championship. That's this afternoon at 3:45. The other loser-out game has Liberty Bell at Brewster. The last game of the District 6 1A tournament is tonight in Leavenworth. Cascade will host Quincy at 6 o'clock. That's a loser-out game. And the District 6 4A play-in games tonight have West Valley and Moses Lake in 6, and Eisenhower will host Sunnyside, and we will have the championship game right here. It's at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Wenatchee will host Eastmont for the district championship and a ticket to state. The two teams, of course, will be facing off for the 3rd time this season. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen with the call, 6 o'clock. The game will be streamed live on our Facebook page. It'll air on TV Friday night at 6:30. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Halloween, which is not an obscure holiday, which is why we're not going to say it's an obscure holiday. But there are some obscure holidays. It's National Doorbell Day. That makes sense, right? Trick-or-treaters. It's National Knock Knock Joke Day. I got a doozy, but I can't say it on television. National Magic Day, again, Halloween. But today we celebrate the caramel apple, the national, that thing, the caramel apple. Invented by an employee of Kraft Foods. Back in the 1950s, his name is Dan Walker. He worked at Kraft Foods. The Halloween season is over. A couple days after Halloween, they had vats and vats and cases of caramel just sitting around. So I said, hey, what happens if I melt this gooey brown stuff, this caramel, and I dip an apple into it? Kind of like the first person who discovered, lobster and melted butter. And Dan went, hey, it's pretty good. Back in the 50s, when they started rolling them out, Kraft Foods was, needless to say, on top of this. They had to do it by hand. There was no other way to do it. And then somebody really smart came up with an automatic machine to apply the caramel to the apple. That happened in the 1960s in Chicago. That machine, by the way, still operates. It's like a tourist attraction in Chicago. It's a nice combination. Apple dipped in caramel, it's the only way to go, and it's definitely a staple for this time of the year. I know when I was a kid, the occasional trick-or-treater would come back with a caramel apple. We didn't get candy, I got an apple. Oh well. Still good, 32 minutes after the hour. Today in history, we always welcome states. It's Nevada's birthday today. Happy birthday, Nevada, 159 years old. Entered the Union October 31st, 1864, during the Civil War. As the 36th state, it is known as the Silver State. Nevada and Missouri have two unique, they're together on this. Most states, once they join the Union, that's it. This is your geographical footprint. Some states got actually smaller, like Virginia. Nevada and Missouri are the only two states in the Union that actually got bigger after they joined the Union. After Nevada became a state, Nevada got a pretty sizable chunk of Utah territory added to their territory, to their state. In 1900, Nevada was in serious trouble. The gold mining and the silver rush and the Comstock lode was dried out. Everybody was leaving. Nevada not only had the smallest population of any state in the Union by far, more people were leaving than showing up. So they decided, why don't we make everything that's illegal in California legal in Nevada? I mean, we're next door neighbors, right? So that's what they did. Easy divorce, easy marriage, gambling, prostitution, open liquor laws. We'll make Nevada, we'll make Nevada the anti-California. And it worked. A lot of people didn't come to stay, but they came to Nevada to blow their money and then go home. Nevada has one hotel room for every 14 residents. In fact, the largest hotel in the world, the MGM Grand, is in Las Vegas. The national average is 1 hotel per 67 residents. There's 1 for every 14 in Nevada. A number of states do not have laws that ban public intoxication. Nevada takes it 1 step further. In Nevada, it specifically prohibits any governmental entity, county, state, doesn't matter where, from passing a law making it a public offense. You can't do it in Nevada. Between 1990 and 2000, Nevada's population increased 66%. The population of the country in those 10 years only increased by 13%. That's pretty impressive. Almost 3/4 of all the people who live in Nevada live in the greater Las Vegas area, and perhaps this most fascinating fact of all, only 25% of the people who live in Nevada were actually born in Nevada. That's the lowest ratio of any state in the union. Happy birthday, Nevada. And not a bad state flag, all things considered. 82 years ago today, we weren't quite in the war yet, but it's amazing that we didn't get into the war after the Reuben James was sunk. It was part of a convoy getting munitions over to Great Britain. They would go as far as Iceland, and then Great Britain would take over the convoy, and a German submarine with a torpedo that was meant for another ship, but the torpedo actually struck the Reuben James near Iceland. About 100 U.S. Navy sailors went down with the ship. This is Halloween 1941, so Nazi Germany just literally attacked and killed American soldiers. We didn't really get us into the war. Could have happened, though. We could have declared war right then and there. Probably a good thing we didn't. That was in 1941. And 24 years ago today, Egypt Air Flight 990, after taking off from JF Kennedy Airport in New York City, crashes near Nantucket, Rhode Island. When it first happened, it was like, we don't know. We're going to investigate. This is what we do. And they investigated, and the FAA decided that this guy, Gamil al-Batouti, the pilot, flew it into the ocean. It was a long flight. It was from New York City to Cairo, Egypt, thus Egypt Air, about 11 hours in flight. So they had 2 complete crews. They had what they called the A crew. That was the crew that did the takeoff and the landing. So they flew the first 2 hours into the flight and the last 2 hours into Cairo. Then they had the relief crew, which would come in and would take over the airplane while it was just cruising across the Atlantic Ocean and Europe. And Gamil al-Batouti was part of the relief crew. They were only about an hour into the flight. The co-pilot got up to go to the bathroom, and Gamil al-Batouti came into the cockpit. And then he told the pilot, hey, if you want to, I'm part of the relief crew. I'm the captain of the relief crew. If you want to just take off now, we'll go over and take over the plane. And he said, okay. So he got up and he left. And so Gamil al-Batouti was the only one in the cockpit, and he shut off the engines, prayed, and the pilot, believe it or not, realizing something was going on, was able to fight gravitational pull to get back in the cockpit to find out what the heck was going on. But by that point, it was too late. He applied the throttles. Didn't matter, because that guy apparently shut off the engines. Doesn't matter how much throttle you give it, if the engines are off. Egypt Air, by the way, says that's not what happened, but we'll let you grab your own conclusion. 38 minutes after the hour, birthdays, some heavenly birthdays. Michael Collins, during Apollo 11, he was called the loneliest man in the universe. While Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were gallivanting around the moon, Michael Collins was rotating around the moon in the Columbia while his crewmates landed on the surface, and he just, with no communication, just hope everything's okay. Michael Collins, one of the 3 members of Apollo 11. He died a couple of years ago at the age of 90. Michael Landon was born Eugene Maurice Orowitz. When your name is Eugene Maurice Orowitz and you want to be a Hollywood star, you change your name, and he did, to Michael Landon. And this guy was on TV like constantly from 1959 until he died. First Bonanza, then Bonanza got canceled, and Little House on the Prairie, then Little House on the Prairie went off the air, and it was Highway to Heaven, and Highway to Heaven went off the air. Michael Landon appeared on the cover of TV Guide 22 times. 22 times, second only to Lucille Ball. Michael Landon, born in this state in 1936. David Ogden Stiers, perhaps my favorite character on MASH. I always found Major Winchester somewhat fascinating. David Ogden Stiers, who played Major Winchester, was born in the state 81 years ago today. We lost him back in 2018 at the age of 85. And we missed John Candy. John Candy would have been 73 years old today. He was so funny in Vacation as the security guard at Wally World. Splash, Stripes, Summer Rental, Uncle Buck, Spaceballs, the legendary John Candy. We miss him. He would have been 73. Nick Saban, considered by many to be the greatest college football coach ever. I think he is the greatest college football coach ever. He's won 7 national championships, 6 of them at Alabama. 72 years old, and he did not want to be a football coach. He graduated from Kent State University. He was done. His fiancée still had 1 more year of school to go through at Kent State. So they agreed, once you graduate, honey, I'll just stay in Kent State for another year. I'll find a job, and then you'll graduate from Kent State, and then we'll get married, and we'll start our career together. He was going to sell cars. He was into muscle cars, Nick Saban. He got a job at a car lot in Kent, Ohio, to sell muscle cars after he graduated from college, waiting for his fiancée to graduate. Don James, the head coach at Kent State, said, "Why don't you join me as a graduate assistant? I think you might have a talent for coaching football." And Nick Saban said, "Okay." The rest is history. He owes his career to the late Don James. Joe West, the legendary umpire, is 71 years old today. Umpired more games over a longer period of time than any umpire in the history of Major League Baseball. 5,460 games over 43 seasons. The legendary Joe West is 71. I think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame here in a few years. And Peter Jackson, he's done okay. Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Hobbit trilogy, King Kong, The Beatles Get Back. He is the 4th highest grossing movie director ever, and he is 62 years old today. Still to come, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Minotti, and then tomorrow evening at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center, it is the Day of the Dead Tradition Celebration, and Rosa Puldio of the Wenatchee Downtown Association. We'll talk about it when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Wenatchee!
Where you at?
From the heavens!
Where you at?
Where you at?
Where you at? WWE Super Show is where it's at.
Where you at?
Live in Wenatchee, January 7th. Tickets and Superstar Experience packages available Friday, November 3rd.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
Hi everybody, Dan Kuntz alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. My heat pump there's like steam coming out of it. It's making weird noises. Is this something I need to be concerned about?
No, Dan, that's normal operation. Refrigeration technology steals heat from the outside, transfers it to the inside, and it creates frost on your heat pump. The defrost cycle melts that off, which creates steam and a little bit of noise.
That makes sense. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, owner at Springwater Insurance Group. And did you know that you can change your plans more than once with no health questions asked of you? Now, are you paying more than $149 per month? Let's consider changing that same plan, but at a lower monthly premium. So give us a call and we can answer all your questions with no obligation to change your coverage. Springwater Insurance agents are here to answer all your Medicare questions. Call us at 509-888-2600.
Okay, hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, I've always been a reader. I mean, reading is my safe place, my happy place. And whenever I'm asked what my favorite thing to do is, I say reading. Well, my favorite family-friendly thing. Okay, so I have news for you folks who are not readers. Reading is doing something. People who aren't readers see somebody like me reading a book and they think, hey, he isn't doing anything. I can talk to him and then be insulted if he doesn't hear me respond or if he just keeps his nose in the book. Now, reading is as legitimate as activity, which is rude to interrupt, as playing video games, talking on the phone, or contemplating your navel, whatever it is non-readers do. You may not like to read, but I do. So there. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
This is Grace, and this is her world record-holding guinea pig with an iconic name, Abby.
She currently holds the Guinness World Record for the highest bar jump by a guinea pig. I ride horses and I jump, so I kind of thought it'd be interesting to teach my guinea pig to jump like my horse does.
One day she came out of her room and looked at us, and I said, "Did you get it?" And she said, "Yeah, we got it."
After we won our award, we came to Abby's to celebrate.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
The Wenatchee Valley. Here, most of us really enjoy the great outdoors, and most of us try to make the most of our natural resources. Here at Apple Valley Honda, we know that for generations, we have harnessed nature to sustainably power the West, and we are proud to be part of that tradition as an environmentally green dealership award winner. Being a green dealership means Apple Valley Honda has reduced our overall environmental impact. We are so proud to live in this wonderful community.
Badger Mountain Brewery is your cure for boredom. Jam Night Mondays. Trivia Wednesdays. Live Music Fridays. And Sunday Brunch. There's always something brewing at Badger Mountain, so come join the party.
Get your favorite beverage and a wide variety of food choices all under one big roof at the Tap Room in Pybus. The Tap Room has the most popular choices for lunch and dinner in the valley. With unique appetizers, salads, sandwiches, and tasty rice bowls, everybody will find a new favorite dish. Plus many craft beers from Hellbent Brewing, or you can choose wine, cider, or a delightful craft cocktail. Experience the family-friendly Tap Room at Pybus for yourself. It's just what you've been looking for.
November 1st, which is this year, is a Wednesday, the place you want to be regardless of your heritage. If you just want to have a good time, you can do it right here at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. It is back. It is Day of the Dead, which is a traditional celebration that goes back thousands upon thousands of years. Tell folks, first of all, introduce yourself to our television family.
So I'm Rosa Polito. I work with the Wenatchee Downtown Association, and I've been helping coordinate Day of the Dead since, I don't know, early 2016. So yeah, it's been such a really fun event and near and dear to my heart.
So it's here at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. This is the second year in a row it's going to be here, right? Because you did it last year, or have you been doing it for a number of years?
Yeah, no, actually it's been here for a number of years now.
Okay.
So I think during COVID we did a drive-through type of Day of the Dead, but yeah, it'll be back here in person from 6 to 8.
6 to 8 on Wednesday. And for those who are uneducated, the tradition of Day of the Dead. In certain cultures, when you die, you don't really die, I guess is maybe the best way to put it.
Yeah, so Day of the Dead is really just a beautiful celebration of life. I love this event because it really celebrates it in a very unique way. We build our ofrendas, which are our altars, and we are able to decorate that altar with all of the lovely things that our loved one maybe loved or appreciated. So that's food and candles and flowers, and each piece of the altar represents just a different aspect. So like, for example, the candles are a way to light the path for our loved ones and guiding them to their afterlife. And then the bread that we provide is just a really great way for us to connect with the dead in that sense and share food. So there's just a lot of great things and traditions that are involved with building your altar. Along that, you know, we have live music to really add to the ambiance and celebrate life in a very positive and uplifting way. And then we have a lot of fun activities. So we have some sugar schools and just little activities for the kids to be able to immerse themselves in that experience and get to learn a little bit about the culture.
I'll give you an example of connecting, and this is a great story, and really it ties into what you were just talking about. I saw one of these a number of years ago, and they had the altar, if you will, and they had these little trinkets that connected the relatives to their lost uncle, who had passed away tragically a few years before. And they had all these little things and there was a set of car keys. There was a set of car keys on the altar. And I had to ask, I said, why is that car? It seemed out of place.
Yeah.
But it turns out it was his favorite car. It was the keys to his favorite car, and that gave me that connection.
Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful way of really putting it, is there's a lot of different ways to celebrate it. And I've seen a lot of people who maybe aren't, you know, Mexican or Hispanic and are now being involved with this event and really, you know, embracing it. And I think it's a beautiful thing. One of the awesome trends I've been seeing online this year is just all the different altars that people are putting together for their pets, which I think that there's, you know, that misconception that it's only for your loved ones that passed away, but that could include, you know, your fur babies and all of that. So I just think it's great.
And it's not a sad thing. That's the key. It's not supposed to be sad.
No, it's a way to celebrate them and remember them and honor them. You know, a lot of these people that have passed on really changed our lives, and so it's a great way to remember them and just honor those traditions and those values that they've instilled in us.
You did something new last year at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center for Day of the Dead. You brought in some food trucks.
Yes, we brought in some food vendors. We partnered with She Se Puede, which is such an amazing pop-up vendor. I don't even know, like, collaboration, and so they have a ton of women-owned vendors who happen to be Latina, and so we were able to host them and bring them in and offer just a little market outside of the museum, which was such an awesome experience. We were able to hang string lights and really decorate outside, so it really spread the activities out, and I think also it just gave an opportunity for those who maybe aren't familiar with the museum to really explore in a non-traditional way, so that was really great.
Is there a set program for Wednesday, or is it you just show up and meander about and enjoy the festivities?
Yeah, we always try to coordinate it as best as we can and have a set program. So starting at 6, we will have certain performers and we'll have MCs. I'll be one of the MCs that night. But yeah, you can pop in really at any time and you'll see a different performer on stage, and the food will be outside. So you'll get to still be a part of all the activities, even though we do have a set schedule.
And it's kid-friendly.
Yes, it's all free and kid-friendly, and that was really the intention behind it, was to show kids maybe a different way of celebrating life and to be a part of something that's different from their normal culture. So.
And everything is free,
yes,
with the exception of the food.
Of the food, yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, and it's a great way to support those small vendors too, because a lot of them don't have their own brick and mortar location. They survive solely by popping up at different events. So I think that's a great way to also think about it, and it may not be free, but you're supporting a small business.
Last year worked out really well, which is why you're doing it again this year, more of a full bore thing. You see this as a tradition, something you're going to be doing for 25, 30, 35 years?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to continue growing it and getting more people involved and getting more volunteers. I think we've, you know, dabbled with some different ideas for the future, and I'm really excited to see if that'll come to fruition. So, yeah.
Again, Day of the Dead, the traditional Day of the Dead is actually like a 3-day celebration, right?
It really is, yeah. And I think yesterday we had another organization host their Day of the Dead celebration. So there's a lot of different activities going on in the Valley to help celebrate this event. So, yeah.
And so let's do the recap one more time, what you need to know about Wednesday, November 1st here at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Give us the whole rundown from beginning to end one more time.
Yeah, so Wednesday, November 1st from 6 to 8, we'll be here at the museum. We'll have live mariachi, folkloric dancers, food, and lots of activities for the kids.
Day of the Dead is back, and it's for everybody. It's multicultural. Thanks for spending some time with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee provides financial services for independent-minded clients working to secure their futures. Whether it's helping construct your personal financial, retirement, or estate plan, they start with a disciplined approach and straightforward advice. An individualized approach is rooted in the values, stability, and strength their company was founded on in 1935. With offices coast to coast and personal attention you deserve right here in the Wenatchee Valley, learn more about D.A. Davidson.
At Kennedy Group, we understand that buying and selling is more than a transaction, and it's more than just a house. This is where you will gather with friends and family, and where a lifetime of memories will be made. But buying a home is more than memories. Oftentimes, it's your biggest financial decision. The agents at Kennedy Group understand this and provide real estate advice based on your goals and dreams. Call us today and let's find your happy place.
Campfire North Central Washington, serving youth ages 3 to 18. Register today in one of Campfire's programs. Club members meet regularly with volunteer leaders to learn responsibility, sharing, cooperation, and citizenship. When a child is involved in Campfire, they will be actively learning and engaged in activities, encouraged to learn new skills, feel a part of the group, learn to work in a team setting, participate in planning, goal setting, and making lasting memories.
Great wine starts in the vineyard, where sun, soil, and geography play a symphony. Join us at Chelan Cellars this harvest season to share the music of Chelan, AVA's most awarded vineyards and wines. Tuscan Vineyard Wagon tours every Saturday during harvest.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Still sitting at 28 degrees, haven't really moved much with a few high clouds. We'll have your complete hour-by-hour trick-or-treat forecast, basically between 4 o'clock to about 8 o'clock here for you ghosts and goblins. In just a couple of minutes, there's two Halloween activities we wanted to spotlight before we cut you loose. The Wenatchee Downtown Association have been doing this since the early 90s, back when I had my record store downtown. They had trick-or-treat on the avenue, and of course, for the last few years, they got real smart about it. From 3 to 5 this afternoon, Wenatchee Avenue will be closed to north-south traffic from 2nd Street on one side to Orondo on the other side. They're going to shut it down completely. That way your kids won't get hit by a car, which would be a real bummer for Halloween. Now, 2nd Street and Orondo will still be open for east-west traffic, but north-south traffic on the avenue will be closed, and you can go out and trick-or-treat with all the downtown businesses who are supporting that. That is today, this afternoon specifically, from 3 to 5, so it'll be during the daylight hours too, and that's kind of a safe thing. And Eastmont High School is hosting something pretty cool as well. We wanted to give them a little love. This is going on this afternoon from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock at Eastmont High School at the teachers parking lot, the staff parking lot. And if you're unfamiliar with the campus of Eastmont High School, that's located near the bus ramp, which is off North Iowa Street. And they're going to have candy and stickers and games and hot chocolate and all that good stuff. So that looks like a pretty cool deal as well. In fact, you can do both if you want to. You can go to downtown Wenatchee between 3 and 4 and do the trick-or-treat on the avenue, and then head on over to East Wenatchee and do the Halloween trunk or treat. And it's for all families from any school district who wants to have a good time tonight. And thanks to all the sponsors who made that happen. As far as your door-to-door forecast is concerned, if you're sending them out and about to trick-or-treat today, first of all, don't come to my house. I'm watching the World Series. Just don't bug me. I got bigger things to do. 6 o'clock tonight in the Wenatchee Valley, it'll be about 44 degrees, which is just right around our high temperature today. It's also going to be just past sunsets at 5:45, but there'll still be some residual light. By 7 o'clock, it'll be down to 42 degrees, and by 8 o'clock, it'll be about 40 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley. And if you're out trick-or-treating at 10 o'clock, shame on you. And then here comes the rain. Things are going to get a lot warmer and a lot wetter. And it starts Wednesday night, and it's going to last really all the way through the weekend. So if you haven't done so yet, not a bad idea if you have storm drains covered with leaves and debris around your house. Good idea to clear those babies out, because we're going to get a lot of rain into the weekend. Look at that. We could see an inch of rain by the time between Wednesday night through the weekend. The heaviest rain is going to be Wednesday night and Thursday, and then again Saturday into Saturday night. From the National Weather Service, it looks something like this. High clouds, high of about 45. Overnight low tonight of about 34, so it's going to be warmer because we're going to have the cloud cover. Right around 45 with hit and miss clouds throughout the course of the day. Wednesday night is when this system rolls in, and we're going to see a lot of rain. It's going to rain pretty good all night Wednesday night till about noon on Thursday. We dry out Thursday night and Friday. The next rain event comes Friday night. Rain pretty much all day. Saturday, if there's a trade-off, it's going to be a lot warmer, and we could still see rain on Sunday and Monday too. Have a good and safe Halloween. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
District has 3 school board races up for decision this November. One of the candidates for one of those races joins me today, Martin Barron, running at large. Having spent 4 years on the board during a really tumultuous period, what do you feel like you've learned about steering a family of schools that you could then bring to another term?
I'm going to begin almost that it's more work than you realize, but you get back to a board needs to be collegial and work as a group. Statute-wise, our only authority is as a group. And in order to do that, you have to treat everybody with respect, and you also have to recognize how to work to something that is either a consensus or close to it, and take joint responsibility for it. And once we've made a vote,